Hello everybody, my name is Fabrizio Branca, and in this video I want to show you a little module that I wrote a couple of weeks ago called AOE Cache Refresh. That module allows you basically to bypass the cache by hitting Control F5. The browser will send a special header that this mechanism is also used in Varnish sometimes, and Magento will basically start listening to that and bypass loading from cache, but still allowing you to save the cache back. This is incredibly useful when it comes to developing because basically you can leave the caches on and just selectively clear the cache by hitting Control F5. Or also I'll show you how to use this mechanism for a cache warming script. At the same time, this tutorial will be a quick run through a Hello World module, and I'll show you some basics about caching. If you're already familiar with that, feel free to skip over the first couple of minutes. Yeah, so let's get started. I have a demo instance here that's Magento Community Edition with including sample data. And now I'm going to create a simple Hello World module to show how the cache refresh module works later on. Okay, so here we are. That's our Magento root. And now I already prepared a Modman folder, which is empty at this point. And now we're going to use N98 made run to quickly kickstart a module. So there is this handy dev module create command. And let's see. So we want to use --modman. We want to add a block. And then it is namespace module name code pool. So let's just say hello world community. So now it created some files here. So here we go. Hello world. Let's see. Okay, one thing that we need for our simple test module is a block and a template. So I'm going to create a simple layout file, app design frontend base default layout hello world, and let's add this to our Modman file. So source app goes to app design. Okay. Now let's just run Modman. And here we go. The module should be installed now. Okay, now here we are in PHP Storm, and the module is here. So that's the files that have been kickstarted by N98 made run. And here's the extra directory I created. I always like to create a separate basically namespace for layout and template files too, even if I'm planning on creating a single file only. That makes it easier for the Modman file to simply always link the complete directory without having to remember that new files were added or not. Plus, everything is nicely grouped then. So now here, first thing we want to do is we want to let Magento know that there's a new template file. So that file will be in hello world.xml. And here in hello world.xml, we will have layout, default, and here we'll say reference name content, and here we'll create a new block, type hello world block, and the name is hello world. So let's create the block now. New block. And here we have class hello world block. I should have chosen another name, but that's okay now. Extends page core block abstract. Let's keep it as simple as possible. We'll just have protected function to HTML, and we'll just return hello world. Okay, so now we should be able to go back and create the cache. And here now on every page, we should see a hello world. Here we go. So that's basically what we did, a very simple module that comes with one block that hooks into every single page. That's because of the default handle, and just adds a block that doesn't even come with the template, but just echoes hello world. So now instead of printing hello world, we'll actually add the date instead. So my cheat sheet here. So I added the date, and now if we refresh the page, we can see the date, and if I refresh it again and again, the date updates because this block is not being cached. So now let's actually add some caching. Adding caching is done by, on the one hand, defining a cache key. This could be or should be something dynamically generated that basically reflects the uniqueness of your content. In this example, I'll stick to a static one. And the second thing that's required is get cache lifetime. And we'll just say we'll save that for an hour. So this is in seconds, so 60 seconds and 60 minutes is an hour. So now if we go here back to this page, we see it's 12, and if I refresh the page, it sticks to 12 because this is cached now. By the way, a nice way to see what's cached and how long it's cached and everything is my AOE template hints module that will help you to get a lot more information here, including showing you the cache key and that cache tags. So since we chose a static cache key, now if we switch to a different page, this block here will still show with the exact same content because basically this block is cached across pages. It's always the same block. So no matter what I do, this content will be delivered for the next 2 hours, for the next 1 hour. And even if I hit Control F5, that doesn't change anything. So now this is when my cache refresh module comes into play. So here it's on GitHub, AOE people, AOE cache refresh. So we're just going to clone it. Of course, again, you could install it through Composer. But we'll just do it like this, AOE cache refresh. And then let's go back and deploy it, deploy all, and now it's installed. So the thing with cache refresh is that, of course, we don't want everybody to allow cache refreshing the cache by just hitting Control F5. That should be restricted, and currently that restriction happens through an IP address or multiple IP addresses. And yeah, since the whole caching models will be loaded early on, we can basically not store the information anywhere outside local XML. So if we go to app, DC, yeah, local XML, here basically you can see you need to add some configuration here. I already did that before. That's also documented in the README file. So this is the configuration you need to add: AO cache refresh, and then a comma separated list of allowed IPs. So in my example, I'm allowing IPs from localhost, which is my VM dev box in this case, and from my host system, which is this IP. So now with this in place, I can go back, and if I hit F5 only, I still get the cached content. But if I hit Control F5, you'll see the page load already takes a lot longer, and I'll get a fresh content. So from here on, of course, this is stored. So if I just hit F5, I will get this content back. And again, Control F5 will bypass the cache for the whole page and give me fresh content. So this is super convenient while developing, and this might even be convenient on production. If you just see something wrong, you can have your Office IP in the whitelist and selectively clear caches doing sending this extra header. So what happens in the background is that the browser will actually send a special header called HTTP Pragma or HTTP cache control with a value of no cache, and this will so currently it's just ignored by Magento, but now my module basically simply picks it up, see if this header has been sent, and if so, it makes sure the current client is whitelisted in the IP, and then it will bypass loading from anything from the cache, but it will still allow you to, it will still store everything back into cache. So of course, that it might be nice, or it is nice, it would be nice if you had the chance to not just bypass any caches. For example, maybe you're specifically interested in this block, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily would want to bypass the config cache, the layout cache, and all other caches. And this is why I added a specific whitelist and a blacklist. So you can, with sending a separate header, so this is a custom header. Of course, you can't make your browser do that, but in scripts and like through curl, for example, for your cache warming script, you can add this extra header, x cache refresh blacklist, and this is a regular expression that will tell the cache refresh module what not to bypass. So with this in place, basically, everything will be bypassed except every cache key that contains config or layout. And of course, you can reverse that too with the whitelist. Nothing will be bypassed except the special key that you define here in this regular expression, and which is hello world, which is, for example, what we just did right now. So now this is very nice for a cache warming script, and the reason is if you want to refresh all your caches, you basically need to you needed to flush them first, because otherwise, if you just hit the page, you would just get the current potentially already cached content, which might expire in just 5 minutes. So your cache warming script might not be too efficient. But with this header, and no matter if the content is actually cached or not, you can basically refresh that and generate new content and store that, and then the cache lifetime starts from there. So another 2 hours or another day or whatever you set your cache lifetime to. So this is a very useful cache warming script. And basically now I'll show you how you can do that in a very simple way. So again, N98 made run comes with a command that will show you all the URLs. So like this, and you need to add all and specify the stores. So add all and store one. So now this is a full list of all the URLs generated, of all the categories and product single views, and all the CMS pages. And now let's do a sample call command. So we will do this without any whitelist or blacklist. We just send the pragma no cache header and let curl retrieve the page ignoring the actual content. And yeah, so let's do this. Yeah, so now this page is refreshed, and actually we should be able to see now this being updated, because we remember we share the cache key across all pages. So yeah, now that was basically updated by the cache refresh I just did in the background. And now we'll just do for e in here do done. What did I miss? Okay, so now this is basically crawling my page, my Magento demo instance, passing this Pragma header and refreshing the caches on all pages. Okay. Okay, so if you want to actually do some debugging and see what's going on, which cache keys are loaded, and if check if your IP list and your whitelist or blacklist work, you can actually go in and enable some debugging. So again, we can not use MageLog here, because at the point where this is used the first time, MageLog doesn't work. So I'll just stuck to a pragmatic solution to write stuff to separate cache file. It's disabled by default. So if you want to mess around with that, you have to enable it here. And of course, don't forget to disable it again. So what this does is basically showing you all cache keys that are being loaded, and also giving you some more insight in what is being bypassed and what isn't, and for what reason. So now with this being enabled, it writes the stuff to cache refresh. And let's do KOF. No. Let's run it first. Okay, here we go. Cache refresh. So now you can see what's going on here. So let's look at the page while with the debug log being enabled. If I just refresh the page without any control F5 or backlist, I can see all the cache keys that are being hit here, and no cache key is bypassed. And now if I do this with control F5, you can actually see every cache key is bypassed. And this is also very interesting to see what Magento does behind the scenes. So you can see there are some cache keys that are simply MD5 hashes, but there are also some like config caches for different stores, layout caches, JavaScript translate caches, and so on. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. And now, for example, if we wanted to go and bypass, have this whitelist in place, we, for example, we only want to bypass the hello world cache that I just created. Demo.local. So only hello world is in the cache in the whitelist now. And now if we go back and look at the cache, you can see how nothing was bypassed except our hello world cache key. Okay, that's it. I have the feeling this is going to be a very useful module to have in my developers toolbox. I'm sure this will be part of every future project to have it there in place. And with something like the environment settings tool, you can easily control and set the IP whitelist and local XML to match your different environments. And yeah, so I hope you like it. Let me know if you think it's useful or not, or if you have any concerns, and if you think there is some feature that you would like to add or not. Okay, bye bye. Have a good day.